Right, welcome back to BIOS Megafauna 2. We are on our second turn of the game now. Or rather, we are still on the first because there was a little mistake I made. We've got the plant here, and we bought the card. We bought this card here, got the 2 cubes. We populated and put 3 guys onto the board. Now, what I forgot about was that the plant actually gets 3 actions instead of 2. So I just decided to fix this little mistake by resizing the plant to size 2. Being bigger has some advantages. It lets you, as you can see on here, it lets you move farther because your size matters for movement purposes. Would he actually want to... No. Alright, so everything else stays the same. And size also matters for contests. If everything else is equal, before the skeleton number, you actually check who's bigger, and the bigger guy wins. It's a law as old as time, if you will. I can't zoom in any farther than that. So we are done with this first turn. Right. So now to the second turn. We will take a card from here, put this back because it's too big, making it smaller. Yeah, that's better. And what happens? This does not look good. Can you see it? It looks like something's hit our planet. Altanic Pacific Bolide Winter. I don't know what that means. A major impact in the ocean triggers massive tsunamis and ice cap formation. Disrupts the ozone layer and loads the atmosphere with water, clouds and salt. Widespread acid rain increases weathering and CO2 drawdown. So that sounds pretty catastrophic. Wonderful. Wonderful. And because there's no symbol on here that tells me not to, I have to draw another card. Our climate is Eden, so it's in the Goldilocks zone. So we're gonna draw a card. Great. And we put it next to the other card. So what also happens is deforestation erosion. Although humans usually take the blame, most environmental deforestation is due to the spread of C3 and C4 open habitat grasses. Between 40 and 18 Mayath globe was overall forested. Between 40 and 18 million years ago, the globe was overall forested, but grasses have since spread to occupy 30% of the vegetated landscape. The increase in soil erosion flushes more nutrients into the oceans. So we've got both deforestation going on apparently and reforestation. So we've got acid rain. No wait, we've got deforestation. Oh, all right. So deforestation doesn't actually do much because there's no forest yet. Okay, so the first thing that happens, you see lots of icons on these cards, and we are going to go through all of them. So this is pretty much the most complex part of the game to get a handle on. And we're starting from top to bottom, left to right. So the first icon we see after the player order icon that we've already talked about in the last video is this arrow here, which goes together with this icon. You can find this icon on Laurentia. This means Laurentia moves 1 upwards because there's 1 arrow. And it's not the dice number. The dice number basically just the direction. So we are moving this up by 1. Vassal likes to spaz out here. I hope it doesn't. Yeah, everything came with. Sometimes things move around on the carton, which is sort of strange. So this now has a latitude die of 3. Why does this matter? For example, what we already know is that rafting now is possible from here and here. So orange could try to raft over here and here. possibly, depending on circumstances. Why it also matters if these things start moving left and right and smashing into each other, connecting cantons into continents, then the landscape is going to look different depending on what sort of movement happened up and down. So what happens next? We've got this this icon here, which what was it called? It's a climax icon. So this basically means something happens on die number 0, on die number 3, and on die number 7. So we've got 0. There's nothing on here, as you can see. The next one was 7 is the last one. Nothing's on 7 as well. So the only place something happens is number 3. Right? And because it's not cold, we've got forestation. Is that right? I'll check. I'll check. You know what? I'll check. I know it's true. I know I'm not talking out of my ass, but let me just check, you know, to be sure, because I feel a bit uncertain for whatever reason. So each climax icon has one or two. Swamps and seas are not affected, and depending on what, all right, it was depending on what dice that were, okay, so I was doing it wrong. I would have done it right anyhow, but that's the rule. It depends on what dice there are. So this one's green, this one would be white. If the dice are white, things on this latitude start freezing over. But if the dice are green, which they are, or which this one is, this die. Manual calls them dice in the singular as well to sort of avoid confusion, but in actuality just making things more confusing. Sorry for that. We are putting one of these forests, they are now forests, on each of the green hexes that are on this latitude. Longitude, latitude, latitude, latitude. And one of them goes here. You see, some of them are in the same spots that our creeples are, but our creeples don't care. There's more plants to eat, that's fine. It doesn't really make a difference between meadows and forests as far as plant eaters are concerned for now. Once the predators start coming in, there is going to be a difference. Because once there are predators in here, instead of the yellow cubes, the red cubes are going to start to matter. So these are now different habitats. On here, something changes. This disc goes away and is replaced. I'm pretty sure about that as well. Liberate all continental white discs in wheat biomes. Yeah, so this one is liberated. Basically, coming from the strips onto the planet means degassing, and coming from the planet onto the strips means liberating. And because the plant player has the Medea card, they get to decide where this goes. So the plant player would like things to be warmer, so we're going to make things warm. And we're going to put the disc here instead of into the clouds. So it's going into the atmosphere, so there's global warming happening right in front of your eyes. It's only going to be warm after this phase. So in this phase we are still using the Eden strip for the whole thing. There's a deluge happening. What do these do again? These tripped me up so much in the last two games that I have to check them again, just to make sure. If a deluge occurs during too hot or Goldilocks, liberate all black or green discs on seas, but not offshores. So these guys are on offshores, so they don't matter. There are no black or green discs on offshores, right? I was always of the opinion that these should go as well, but apparently it is not so. The ice remains, things remain frozen, the deluge does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely nothing. So the next icon we're going to deal with is a gun icon. You see the arrow? The white arrow shows that something's happening from the something's going from the atmosphere to the clouds, and the additional arrows show that it's a gun. So if it's just one arrow, one thing would go from the atmosphere to the clouds, one disk. That's not what's happening because there's a gun icon, and the Medea player, and this is where the Medea card gets ridiculously powerful, they get to decide. I just realized I have not explained something last turn, which I should have, but I'm going to explain it this turn. So everything's PG. I have not made a mistake, I just forgot to tell you guys something. Sorry, where was I? I was explaining what this does. So instead, I can, as the Medea player, decide, instead of doing this with just one disc, doing it with all of them. So, because we want things to be warm. And right now we don't have as many organs, so we don't need to worry about these all that much. We are actually going to do this. No, wait, we don't want this. We do not want this whatsoever. Right, so it's not that powerful. So, because the Medea player doesn't want this. No, it goes from the atmosphere to the clouds. So because they want it to be warm, for the plants to have it warmer, they don't pull the trigger on the gun. Everything remains nice. The earth does not become cool, or whatever would happen. Now we go on to the next icon, which is on the next card. And there we have deforestation, because well, it just got a bit hot. Plants grew, but there's deforestation, erosion happening. That's internal climate of the planet. And well, the Medea player gets to decide on one green disc that gets put back into the reservoir. Green likes these plants, this forest, so we're going to take white's forest away, and we're going to put it here and cackle maniacally, even though it's not that big of a decision. Next, we've got from the planet. This is the icon for the planet. Basically anything that's not offshore, anything that's not in these indentations. And there's white going to either the atmosphere or the clouds. Right, so now here, what happened to this disc? What happened to it? Something happened to it. Oh right, it was actually put away during this. Right, so we're going to pull the trigger. We're going to take all the white discs from the planet, and we're going to put them in the atmosphere. So there's global warming happening, and it's too tiny so you can't see it. I'm gonna zoom in on it. This means, because we put this last disc here, the plant player is gonna have 4 actions. So yeah, the Medea card worked out for them after all. We've got a gene icon. I was hoping these would come later, because right now they don't do too much. Basically, we now check what people's organ limits are, and they have to discard organs if they have too many. So animal players are allowed 3 organs, plants are allowed 6. We are checking white. They have 1 organ on this mutation, so they have nothing to worry about. We have green, they have 2 organs on here, again nothing to worry about, and orange, 1 organ on here, nothing to worry about. What also happens though is everything on here gets discarded, because we are now mutating. This comet probably brought in some radiation. Ozone layer was pierced, meaning there's lots of UV light, lots of mutation happening, lots of new choices. Actually, it's just blue cards, never mind. And Interesting, interesting. We're gonna talk about this later. Right, so the next thing that happens, only if it's possible that it rains. You can see we are on the bottom right, 3 icons. On the planet icon, the offshore icon, that's the waves. Offshore means everything on here, everything on the indentations. And this only happens if it's possible for it to rain. So we check on here, we see the rain icon, we've got enough clouds that it can rain, so this happens. So a green disk from the planet, there's 2, we're taking this one, because we are the green player, we want the forest for some reason. And we are putting this offshore. So it basically was flushed out, the biomass was flushed out, and it was put on here. It's got a sort of swooshed out of the planet by rain into the oceans, and it ended up by some weird magic currents, it ended up on here. Next to the green player, in case they would want to go and become a marine animal, marine plant, which they actually might, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible biomes for them to exist in, which is quite a lot. And marine animals usually don't end up being that contested, so it's actually very good for green that they could take this disc. So yeah, that's the event phase. I know, again, it was a lot to take in. I had a lot of trouble with all of this in the beginning, but it's actually pretty cool, all the things that happen. And as you can see, nobody was killed. Everything's fine, so these events are not as catastrophic as I think in American Megafauna, where species would just get wiped out left and right. This does happen here, but not yet. Not yet. I mean, we did have this gene icon, and depending on how many cubes everybody has, if they have too many, their entire species might get wiped out if they have too many. So yeah, it can happen, but you are forewarned by these icons that show you how many organs you are allowed, and if you gamble that this icon isn't going to show up, you probably shouldn't gamble, guys. You probably shouldn't gamble. Alright, you still don't know what I'm talking about because we haven't talked about organ cubes too much. We'll get to it. So this is it for the ET phase, for the extraterrestrial event phase, and the terrestrial event, as it happened here with the deforestation. So now the white player will take their turn. They still get 2 actions. We now have a warm climate, so I should not forget changing this to the warm strip. Nothing really changes on the warm strip yet, but we're going to take different event cards from this deck instead of the Goldilocks deck. So yeah, it does have an impact. It's not yet really felt, but global warming is a thing, guys, and well, it is felt because the green player now has more actions. It also means that plants are going to grow in the later rounds, so the animals are going to get more actions, most likely, depending on what ET cards we're drawing, but most likely they're going to get actions. And so it's more of a temporary benefit in actions that green has right now, so you shouldn't be too worried about the plants being overpowered, because they do have a drawback that I forgot to tell you about in the last video. We're going to get into that soon enough. Again, we've got 2 actions. Why is this one on here? It should not be on here, right? Yeah, it should not be. And we're going to pull up the mutations deck. What do we want? We want everything. This looks perfect. 2, 4, 6, but we can't buy it. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. We can't use it. I will do something cool just for the sake of it, I think. No, I'm gonna do the cool thing next round, but I'm gonna prepare to do the cool thing and keep you guys in suspense, right? I'm not explaining my rationale here. You can't know what I'm doing. I haven't explained the rules that are appropriate yet. Did I? Are there multiple cards on this? Oh, geez, Vassal. I hate this program. It. What's happening? What's happening? I'm trying to fix it right now. Shuffle this deck. Yeah. That's just Vassals passing out. Sorry about that. So we are buying the Pallial Lung. Terrestrial snails have lost their gills and adapted the mantle cavity into a lung. Gas exchange occurs in the highly vascularized roof of this lung. We have a lung. We have a lung, guys. We have a lung and seeds. So basically the female lizards, they're gonna get nasty surprises from the wind, right? That's what's gonna happen. Not that nasty. They probably don't care. They're lizards. And we have another action. What would we like to do with this action? We would like another card. We bought the cheapest one, so we still have 4 points. We can take any of these. Why is this on here? Oh, sorry, I didn't bring it up. We can have any of these. 0, 2, 4. We can have this. Oh, I'm a moron. All right. We're picking this. So, because that's 2 actions, I'm just gonna refill the decks here, showing you how it's done. Everything passes down. So we bought 2 mutations. We now have 4 organs. Wow. We are very good at procreation now. So we not only do we have seeds, we also have horned male contest. So again, we have arrived at an animal that doesn't make any sense because it has seeds, so it should technically be able to inseminate pretty much anything depending on where the wind blows. But it also has horned male contests for some reason. Sexual selection is among the most powerful of all evolutionary forces. So I guess the seeds have changed their purpose and are now just an easier way for the males to combat each other sexually. Right. And the female gets to choose who wins. Somehow. Right, I guess it has become a more progressive species all around. I ramble. But that's everything White can do. Because we were so concerned with getting mutation cards, we actually forgot about that we should have populated. We really should have. We didn't. But we are now better at populating. So next round we're gonna explode. Most likely. Maybe. I don't know yet. And now it's Green's turn. Green is already very good at populating. What mutations are available for Green? Now we are going to talk about the drawback of Green that I forgot to tell you about. Green is not allowed to buy any of the yellow and any of the red cards. Yeah, that sucks to be Green, right? But they are allowed to buy the ones with the horror plant icon. That's this little thing here that you almost can't see. There's 4 cards in this row. There's usually not that many yellow cards and red cards for Green to take. So Green's in a bit of a panic because these are important for contests. So as long as they're available, we pretty much have to take them. We don't have to, but I think it's important enough. Which one looks better? I like this one. I'm not explaining my choices once again. It's a bit too much. Wait, we can't take this. We've only got 3 unborns. Got 3 unborn creeples. So we can take one of a 0. We cannot take this one. So right now we actually only have a choice of this when it comes to yellow cards and red cards. So what else are we gonna do? We're not gonna buy anything on here because now you see the drawback of populating a lot in the beginning. We can't actually afford any of the mutations that we want, like the green one. We really want the green one. All we can do is populate. These have been... Oh, I messed up with the discard pile. Now I get it. It wasn't Vassal's fault. I put the discard piles there, which was a terrible idea. It should not change too much. It should not really change the game. I just happened to think the discard pile was actually an additional card draw pile. And I shuffled it back in here. So I guess we're gonna see the discards again. We didn't care about them anyhow, so it's not gonna change the game anyway. Great. So, what can we do? Not actually too much. We can populate again. Does this make sense? We can move 4. This is latitude 4 and latitude 3. This makes very little sense. This is basically one habitat, one additional habitat we can get. But could we, if we wanted to, do something useful here with this one or with this one? No. Yeah, it's a very thinky game. I'm trying to see if we can get over to Gondwana. Oh no, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, nothing. We can go over to Gondwana, so that's 1, 2, 3. I think the oceans is 2 for terrestrial creatures. Yep, 2, 4, 5, 6. So we need 6 movement points to actually get over there. How many can we get? I don't think we can get that many. No, that's not going to happen. So instead, I'm going to promote the mutation. I get to pick which side we want. This one gives me a white cube, which in the beginning of the game is more important than later on. It means basically this creature is now an endotherm. The other side would have given me more purple icons, making it possible for my plant creature to use tools. You see, I took the 2 cubes off the card, and they are now going onto the archetype card. They are now basal organs. And basal organs are an important mechanic in the game. If you lose even one of them, your species goes extinct completely. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. If you lose one on a mutation, meanwhile, you just lose the mutation. So it's not that bad to lose the ones on mutations. It really sucks to lose your basal organs. Very important ones. So now we have discovered nest building. We are now nest building cytoskeletals with respiratory proteins. Okay. I'm not gonna make up a story about that like I did for the others. It's gonna be too much. It's gonna make the playthrough too long. And it's always fun. It's such a fun thing to do. Just to imagine your creature and somehow explain away all the inconsistencies to arrive at some kind of life form that could actually possibly exist. Right. And so we've promoted this. We've bought this. So that's 2 actions. We've got another action left. Could take blue. Like this. I think I'm actually going to populate. Though it does not make that much sense to populate. Instead, I'm going to grow in size. I think that's a better idea. I'm becoming big. The plants are becoming big. They are these huge, giant mushrooms / plants. I think it just says it has a cytoskeleton, so it could be anything, plants or mushrooms. So it's kind of left up to the player what exactly the animal is that they have, I think. And so we've sized up. That's the third action, but we've got 4 of them. We've got 4 of them, so we're gonna become even bigger. Why are we going to become bigger? Because we actually want to invade Gondwana. You see here, the wind is blowing in the right direction. The plants are here. Yeah, it's looking like a plant invasion is almost inevitable. White should maybe think about preparing for that. But White's turn's over. Sucks to be White. Player order randomly determined. Always a bit of an issue. But hey, maybe White gets their next turn again first and can prepare. Or actually, last is better. Yeah, last is better. Going last is always better. That's it for probably not always. Probably not always. Next, we've got black. Black's out of the game, so after that we've got orange. There's no orange icon, it just means orange is going last. And we've got the mutations deck again. We need to move these. So these giant horror plants are on their way to the continents. Well, orange doesn't care much because, well, the orange does care because if orange wants to swim from continent to continent, they're gonna have to deal with green. So what are they gonna do? Orange thinks that it might be possible to become the better herbivore than green. 2, 4, 6. I can't afford this one. The green cubes are for herbivore contests, so the more green cubes you have, the better the herbivore you are. Well, green can't afford being a herbivore. Well, not a good one. Everybody's a herbivore right now, but they're not going to win any contests against the big plant, because the plant just went to size 4. It's very hard to compete with right now if you don't have any green cubes. Green cubes are stronger than size. If you have more green cubes, that's more important than what size you are. But orange is actually going to take this. If you know the game, you're starting to see what this is going to look like. The game is developing in a strange direction. I haven't actually seen this before, but I guess the random mutations always make for a lot of fun stuff happening. Yeah. So I'm gonna populate twice, because there's lots of open space here, unlike the other cratons where there's lots of water. Actually, everybody's got space at this point. Right. Right, right. So that was orange's turn. Now white gets to populate. We've got 0 population growth. Then we've got green with 0 population growth. And then we've got orange, who gets to place 2 archetype guys. Of them, and this one I took from the one spot, so I'm going to put it down here. Alright, so looking good for orange on the board, but they're a little bit less developed than the other players, so you can already see everybody's different. Everybody decided to go different routes. White decided not to populate right now. There's going to be an explosion next time. So that's another turn. I don't think we need to end the video yet. We're only at 34 minutes. We might actually manage if I hurry up a bit. I'm I'm slow. I'm slow. I'm sorry. We've got the Louisville hot soup, and because it's warm, we are taking a card from the hot deck. Ooh. So I'm gonna read the flavor text again because really this makes this game so much better. The Ontong Java Plateau is part of the largest igneous body on Earth, about 70 million square kilometers, cube kilometers in volume. This large igneous province was formed 121 million years ago. I hope MYA means million years ago. Possibly by an underlying hot plume in the mantle called the Louisville hotspot. So we've got a hotspot. What does the hotspot do? Mostly take some carbon off the planet. It's not a big deal. And here we've got Elmo hypothermal. Hyperthermal, such as Elmo, that's the Eocene layer of mysterious origin. That's cool. Where geologically brief intervals, less than 200,000 years, that contain the highest recorded global temperatures and atmospheric carbon. Things are heating up, guys. They ended as suddenly as they began, perhaps by flourishing marine phytoplankton. Right, so here we've got a down arrow plus the Siberia board. So the Siberia board is moving. Oh, now Vassal's being weird again. See, I'm selecting all the discs. I'm not doing anything wrong, and they just go all over the place. So this becomes dice number 5. So this lines up perfect. Right. Next we've got something happening on latitude 4 and climax. So that would be one here, one here. Yeah, things heating up on latitude 4. That's actually a massive greenhouse. The plants love it. Oh dear, oh god, oh gosh, oh geez. I already predicted that because it became warmer. We got a card from here. So this is not random, right? We knew this was gonna happen. Maybe not this turn. We knew this was gonna happen because we were going to most likely draw a hot card. And the hot cards usually bring plant growth with them. And now we have lots of plants on the planet, meaning things have changed on the strip. The animals now have 3 actions and a limit of 5 organs. So they are catching up with the plants with 4 actions and 6. And the plants they probably need an extra action to deal with the limits they have on buying mutations. So I think the balance actually works out. Right, what happens next? Mountain gets degassed into the atmosphere. Nothing to choose here, it has to go there. Things get even warmer. We are actually... It's getting frighteningly close to game end. I mean, the game's not going to end right now. It's ridiculous, but you never know, right? Climate events. So here we can take one or all black discs off here and put them into the atmosphere. We could end the game right here if we wanted to, being green. But green does not really want to, because green is not the most populous. If they were, they actually might want to end the game right here. I see a bit of a problem here. Oh no, wait. Yeah, actually they might end the game here if they wanted to. But they don't want to because they're not in first place. So the animals and everybody catches a lucky break. It's not going to be extremely warm. It's not going to be so hot that nothing's able to live just yet. Right. Oxygens. So we've got 1 of of these down into the shelf. Put it on here. Green once the biome's close. So we're now up to 6 organs for the organ limit for the animals. And we've got a white disk degassed into the atmosphere. There's no more white disks left. So, well, that means the Medea player actually gets to choose where the disk comes from. Oh yeah. So they now have 5 actions and we are living in a hothouse. This is getting very dangerous. It's getting very dangerous. So now, basically there's just plant growth everywhere. You even on the North Poles, everything's green. Everything's green. Plants have 5 actions and 8 allowed organs, which is the maximum possible. So the plants love this. The animals love this too. For now, before everybody goes extinct, right? And we've got green. With 5 actions. Oh, now there's a lot of stuff going on, huh? We've got still 3 purchases we can make. And we're going to pick this. That's 1 purchase. So that's blue cube. I've been doing this because I want to promote this to this side. You get to choose which side you want to promote. Here, meaning after promotion the cube goes over here and we get another blue cube. This one's the size limit, so everything's still in the size limit. And so that's 2 actions. Now we've got this symbol here assembled, meaning this plant now has an emotion. It has the emotion of jealousy, meaning it's even better at purchasing blue mutations. All the blue mutations now cost half. So we already spent 2 to buy this mutation. We have 1 left, 1 currency, so we can't buy this, but it would only cost 2. So it's gonna be very impactful later on. We're also buying these 2 because this has a horror plant icon. We love this, and we're just gonna take this because it's there. These 2 are free; they don't cost any currency. Going to get the cubes. Going to get blue. Going to get red. And we are going to the 5th action. So it's promoting 1 card, buying 1 card, promoting it, buying another card, and populating. So that's 5 actions done for green. They pretty much get to populate everything because they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the action itself. So they could populate 6 creeples at once. You never need more than that, but all these blue cubes, they also allow for going farther. So this plant is gonna spread massively. It's got pheromones, it's got all the sexual awesome things. It builds nests, attracts other plants. It's got an estrus cycle. Estrus sounds like estrogen. Might be hormone. It might have hormones and pheromones. Jeez, this is one promiscuous plant. And you're gonna enter turn for green. Oh, how wonderful! More things, more horror plant icon things. But as all the creeples are now on here and on the map, well, green's not gonna be allowed to buy anything but these two cards on these spots. on the next turn, if they don't have something tragic happen to one of the creatures, which just might. There's always tragic things happening in this game. Good. Green's actions are over. Now everybody else gets 3 turns. First black, who does not exist, then white. White's actually pretty promiscuous as well. But they still have 4 organs, so they were a bit smarter, actually, in organizing. Oh god, I'm so funny. And what are they gonna do? They want to do... Oh, they wanted to do this. They wanted to do this and that and the other. Oh, gee. I think they're gonna do the cool thing next turn. We're gonna keep my master plan for next turn. So we're just buying things. We don't need to buy a populate action, not yet. Actually, gonna do these. Ooh, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So green is becoming the plant eater. So 1, 2, 3. These cost 3. You see how everybody's purchasing organs right now? That's because the organ limit is very high for both of them. So the plants can have 8 and the animals can have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're not going to lose organs in case of bad events just yet. And for the last action, we would like to populate 4 creatures. Because there's 3 cubes plus the action, it's 4. Yeah, white is doing well, I think. Again, we're drawing new cards for orange. Orange. What does it look like for orange? Orange populated like bad in the last turn. That's because they wanted to speciate. Now I'm just realizing it's probably a bad idea to speciate right now, because I have no basal organ cubes on here. Because they all get carried over to the next species. But never mind, we're gonna do it anyhow. We're not very smart animals. We're just dumb, stupid snails. And we are going to promote this guy onto this side. Since we're promoting it, one of the organs goes on here. You can see the symbols on this card look a bit different. This dolphin icon and the die. The die is the size limit. The die is always the size limit. You don't have to roll any dice in this game pretty much ever. And well. You know what? Before I do this, I probably should take my own advice. I'm promoting this guy to this side. Yeah, the other side doesn't make any sense just yet. Putting a cube on here. So now, all right, we're speciating. This means we get a copy of all the basal organs. We've promoted the blue organ, a lek. So yeah, we get this organ and this is our new species. This new species has the same size as the old one, so size 1. We're making a new die here. Oh geez, he actually gets another yellow. Cool. And we're going to replace one of our old creeps, or old creatures, with one of those fish things. And now we're going to populate the new species by 2. So that's 1 card promoted, 2 cards promoted, and populated. 3 actions. Everything's fine according to the rules. We're doing great. So now this guy has 2 species. So now his fish meeples are actually important. These guys cannot live on land. So if I had picked this place instead for them, they would immediately be endangered. Endangered animals can still have offspring, so I could still use it as a model and put things in here or something. But since we have these nice swamps here, I decided why not put them in the swamps? They can exist there. They're allowed. Yeah, they're gonna live fine, right? Very fine. So what's actually important in water? Just let me check. Yes, you need yellow. So it's good that we have the yellow cubes on the swimmer, because he's going to be a competitive predator in case that ever gets important. Oh, this was not an extra die. I just forgot to flip the thing, or I reflipped the thing. Yeah. Okay, we've only got one yellow organ. That's less cool, but yeah. So what are we? We are hyponome, we have hyponome propulsion, so like an octopus, I guess. Part of the mantle of many mollusks in cephalopods, it is a muscular tube known as a hyponome. When contracted, it expels water for a rapid but brief jet propulsion. Oh, we've got a jet engine, that's great. I'm easily pleased, but this is really good. So, and that's Orange's turn, so now everybody's gonna populate things. Green is gonna go out, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can move 9. That's massive. So they're gonna go everywhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna end up here. And we're going to go from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gee. Okay, Green's absolutely taking over this game. Like, this is free. This is free space. That was a really good idea to go here. These things are separated by lower and upper triangles. The lower ones are for herbivores, the upper ones for carnivores. If there's no herbivores there can't be any carnivores. So everybody can live there for now. And we've got black. Black does not happen. Black does not exist. I keep forgetting. White's spreading out as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not as cool as although the other guy has been doing. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Can at least get in here and spread out some on here, and on there. And because we have these green cubes, we're actually going to do this. We have to be on here so we can actually populate from this one. So now we've got, we're contesting Refugia. We're gonna get to that later. It doesn't happen yet, because Orange still hasn't taken their turn. Orange, meanwhile, is sequestered on their own island. But, because right now, picking the wrong one again, because right now I have speciated, on this turn only, I can use these cubes. These meeples, these things anyway, archetypes. I can use these to move from, so I can use these as models. I decide that this guy's gonna be the model, so we're gonna raft over here. This is latitude 4, so we can raft. Rafting only costs 1 because I'm a marine creature. So we're rafting 1, 2. We can't go any farther than 2. So that's it, and we're going 1, 2, spreading out. We could go on this bloom here, we could go up here, but I'm figuring why not spread all over the map. Makes it easier for later in the game. And there's no fish yet, so they have no competition. And if they maybe develop some green cubes, they might do just fine as herbivores, which is great. Alright, so now we have the contest. And here we use the help file, which is once again white. We use the help file. So we've got a herbivore contest. Now, if there is a predator in here, there's a carnivore, first we check if one of those two herbivores can't be eaten. Since there's no carnivore, we don't care. We also don't care about the roadrunner DNA, which would be yellow. So if there's a carnivore here and both of them can be eaten, then we've got a roadrunner contest, which is basically saying who has more yellow cubes. And now we've got a humidity contest. So we check what humidity is it. It's number 5. So that's a green die. So the one with more green dice wins. So green has 0 and white has 2. So white wins. White is the better plant eater than the plant, so the only thing the plant can do is become a predator. You are allowed to shift from predator to from herbivore to carnivore, but not the other way around, because it's harder. Being a predator in this game sucks. You don't want to be the predator. You are very vulnerable. If your prey dies, you die. And, well, if something inevitable comes in here, you can't eat, you die. So, yeah, you're pretty much a parasite on white right now. You're still on the map. You still exist. And you're actually eating him. So, in a way, you're higher up in the food chain. But being higher up in the food chain is not very desirable, because the food chain is fragile. So, if one link dies, you die. Yeah. So being a bottom feeder, being on the bottom, that's actually way preferable. Good. So those are the two contests that happen. We're almost 60 minutes in. I think that's it for this video. Is there anything else I forgot? No, nobody's dying yet. We're just going to draw the next ET event card. Gonna take a look at it. So we're drawing a hot card. Letting you take a look at the symbols. Maybe you're starting to figure it out somewhat. Letting you think for a bit. The other card. We haven't talked about the crater icon yet. You can see there's going to be ocean evaporation, so there's going to be another gun event. 2 of them even. Yeesh. Right, that's it for the second episode. So we've done the second and third turn in 1 hour. I guess with all the explanations I've been doing, that's decent. Oh, we've got a contest here. Almost didn't catch that. So we've got green and orange. So this is interesting because neither of them have any green cubes, but it's a herbivore contest. That means we are taking the table again. We're looking here. Nobody wins this. So we're going down to size. And because our plants are size 4 and our little snails are size 1, the snails are not the better herbivores. The plants eat plants. I know that's weird. And that's why our squid snails, I guess I should say, our squid snails, they are going into the predator triangle. They are now eating the plants. Okay. So that was really it for this turn though, as far as I can see. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on episode 3 of Bios Megafauna 2. It's really fun making these. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could follow my explanations of everything. And you got a bit more interested in this game because it's absolutely magnificent. So see you guys next time.